What's up, gangsters? How about some random stuff? Okay, here we go. I have a bunch of random stuff. I have been working diligently on Stompy Robot, and well, I was up until about a week ago. I got to where I felt like was a good stopping place, which was that I wanted to get all of the paintwork done, and that obviously includes some weathering, because I've done a bunch of chipping here as well, using my normal hairspray method that I love so much. So anyway, I feel like Stompy is in pretty good shape. I've tried to tell some stories and do some graphics, and the stuff is all painted on, and hopefully it's all going to work together. I'm at that point where I'm just kind of letting him sit here on my bench and talk to me and tell me if he needs anything more or different. I don't know. I haven't locked any of that last round of paintwork in with any clear coats, so it's all good. But it was also time to switch back to another project that I have been working on that needed some time, and that is my Tamia Spitfire project. And so I've spent 6 or 7 hours this week assembling the wing and control surfaces. And this has just reinforced everything I love about Tamiya. I mean, this thing is fantastic. I'm not going to go into a lot about it at the moment, because I'm actually about to do the first of the normal 2-part build review things for this kit. So I'll get into the details there, but just look at this wing root. It's not, this is just dry fitted right now, but let's look at that wing root. Look how good that is. I mean, come on. How can you get any better than that? This is about 70 parts in this wing subassembly, and I did not have to make any adjustments to any of them. In fact, the only reason I even got my file out was because there were a couple of places where I did not clip the sprue gate off tight enough, and I had to clean it up, which is my own fault. There is going to be just a little bit of work. You can see where these cannon inserts go, that they aren't quite flush. That's probably actually my fault, because there was a tab underneath there that I thought was interfering, and I just very quickly chopped it off and then realized maybe it was there to spread that insert piece out enough that it would sit flush. But that's not a big deal, because another thing that I'm going to do, I've recently learned that on pretty much all Spitfires from about 1940, mid-1940 on, that the wing in front of this line that runs right here in front of the gun bays had all the rivets filled and smoothed. So I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm probably going to mask that off along that line, top and bottom, and spray some of my high build 2K urethane primer on that. I think that'll be a pretty good choice for taking care of that. So we'll see. And then I'll use my Proxxon pen sander to hopefully make quick work of it. And in that process, you know, those joins where the gun and cannon inserts are will get taken care of. So anyway, that's cool. I also have some good stuff that came in the mail this week. One of the things I've been wanting for my Honda Monkey project is this Tamiya 1/6 scale chain. I think they came out with this for that 1/6 Honda Dakar bike. Now I've suddenly slipped in my mind what the name of it is, but anyway, this should be pretty cool. This, you know, if it's actually scale for a full-size motorcycle, it'll be a little big for the Monkey, but I still think it'll look really good. I don't think it's going to be such a noticeable thing that it'll be wrong. But that's going to be cool. It even has rollers. Look at that. It even has metal rollers in it. So I think that's going to make a really realistic chain. Speaking of the Honda Monkey, one of the things I'm going to be doing on that one is a high gloss finish on the gas tank and the fenders, and so I'm going to be doing some polishing. And a couple of guys have been talking about these things. These are foam polishing pads. They've been encouraging me to try them out because allegedly you can use a liquid compound without it splattering everywhere the way it does with regular cotton buffing wheels, because these foam things soak it up. So I'm not totally sure. I mean, it was a cheap experiment, and obviously I've got 2 lifetimes worth of them. It comes with this little mandrel here with a Velcro patch on it. So I'm going to be experimenting with those, and hopefully they will work as advertised. I'm always about trying to find good tools. Speaking of which, one of my favorite things, you guys probably know, is Infini Sanders. And Matt Bull surprised me with a sample of some new sanders from those guys. These are much more like a traditional sanding stick. It's got some sponginess to it, but it's a lot stiffer. And these come in a bunch of different grits. You can see 400 up through 7,000, which is interesting. I've talked before about the fact that some of these grit numbers can get a little bit hinky because those shady people at Micromesh just basically invented their own grit scale. And so you get people talking about like 8,000 and 12,000, 10,000, and that's just all bullshit. Those numbers don't really exist. The highest real numbers that I've seen from any of the grit standards, and those, you know, the organizations that control those exist in Europe and the United States and China. Anyway, the highest grit that I've seen that's legit, as far as I know, is 5,000. But somebody showed me one from Germany the other day that was 7,000. So hopefully this is legit, and it'll be interesting to see how these work out. I am already, though, hoping that they would come out with some narrower sizes, because one of my favorite sanding tools is this 400 grit thinny stick from UMP. And I use the narrow end of it far more than the wide end of it. So hopefully, you know, maybe those guys will listen to my feedback and come out with some skinny sizes. One of the things that I ran into when I was doing the assembly on the spit was, you know, we've all done it from time to time, you know, holding on to these pieces, clamping them together, and I just goofed and let a little bit of extra thin run under the tip of my thumb, and it left a fingerprint. And, you know, you look at that with horror and you think, oh man, this is terrible. But I found a new use for my fiberglass pencil to get rid of that. And this is one of those things where it just worked really good. Now, this is also a good time to point out, because there's a lot of confusion. I was confused for a long time about these fiberglass pencils, because the first time somebody recommended one to me, I immediately ran out and bought one like this and discovered that it wouldn't do any of the things that people said it would do. They were talking about using them to remove ejector pin marks. And these bristles, this one's stiff at the moment because I'll explain why in a second, but these bristles are basically like really just stiff paintbrush bristles. You can see that there. And they don't do a damn thing to plastic. You're not removing shit with one of these, not even paint. Then, after some discussion in one of the groups, it came out that there's another type. And so somebody posted a link, and that's this one. This has a much larger diameter bristle, and they are much stiffer. And this thing will eat styrene like there's no tomorrow. So you can remove an ejector pin mark with this one. And so something like a thumbprint from extra thin is easy business for this deal. In fact, you have to be careful because you can actually create scratches that you then have to go back and fix. Here's what this fiberglass pencil has become my favorite tool for. All this chipping that I've done on this, if you've tried chipping with lacquers, MRP, Guns, Mr. Color, whatever, you probably already know that it's tougher to get it started than it is with a normal acrylic or something like Tamiya. And this fiberglass pencil right here is the perfect tool for chipping MRP. And you may think, well, it's just gonna, mangle it and pull off these huge slabs of paint. Nope, it doesn't. Works really good. You use a scrubbing motion and a tapping motion, and you'll get these super, super fine little delicate chips going. You can see some of them right there next to that lift hook. All done with this fiberglass pencil. So I love it. I can get chips of basically whatever size I want, from super tiny to huge, if that's what I need. But anyway, I think, yep, that's 10 minutes and 40 seconds. That's enough random. Bye.